Thank you. I appreciate this. I appreciate you for liking this live. It's too dark to turn the light on. I'm tired. My eyes hurt. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to participate in this live, but I'm just trying to show up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for what, C. Sanders. Those of you all that's new here, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to chat. I do talk to everybody. Oh, yeah, it's a lot. A lot of people just don't understand it's a whole lot, you know? But for me, I have always just wanted to be able to help others and, be able to supply people with something that they may not need or information and things of that nature that they may not know, So my thing is, I just want someone to be able to learn something from my overall situation and just be able to to, apply it to their day to day, whatever it is. I just want to be able to help someone in some form of action. So, yeah, but it's a lot. That's why I be telling people all the time, like, it's a lot to go on, to come live and go on camera and stuff all the time. It's just, you know, I don't know. And you be sitting around here trying to protect others, and be so much more to the story that you just can't say, and so much more to the story that you just can't talk about. But someday I will be able to just share more, but it's just too much. It's just too much. So the topic for today is go where you're appreciated. Um, Yeah, always checking in, let us know you're safe. Yeah, most definitely. That's at least what I at least be trying to do. You know, let everybody know that I'm at least breathing to the, to the least, to the bare minimum. Right now, I'm working off 2 hours of sleep, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning here. When I say that I'm tired, I'm extremely tired. I seriously don't know how I'm going to get through the day like this today. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get through the day like this. So, I don't know. But yeah, so the word for today is go where you're appreciated, accepted, not just tolerated. Most definitely. If you do something for someone, do it because this is something that you genuinely want to do. As far as helping someone, do it because it's something that you want to do. Don't do it because you're seeking validation in the end to say, oh, well, this person was down and I did this, I did that. That's doing it for all the wrong reasons, if that makes sense. Um, on the flip side, I wish people would stop. Um, I wish people would stop talking about strong people being strong. Me, like, I'm a strong person, and people just expect for strong people not to go through anything. Like, strong people be fine. We're always fine. We'll figure it out. Like I just said in my last past video, if this is the definition of being fine, I don't want to be fine. So yeah, I'm just tired at this point. As far as women's shelters, the situation with that is that here in Dallas, I'm going to say Dallas because that's where I am. I can't really speak for any other um, jurisdiction or whatever the case may be, but here in Dallas, you pretty much got to have some sort of problem, a drug addiction, domestic violence, something to that nature to qualify for shelters. Now, it's a red state, so they have like day shelters that you can go to, kind of like service centers, so to speak, where they have different little programs or whatever you may call it. But as far as just like single women shelters, no. You're better off being a woman with small children to be able to find some sort of shelter here. And even with that being said, those are limited. Okay. And even if you do go to shelters that involve kids and domestics and things of that nature, they do background checks where they look into your past and see like if you have any criminal history, and then it's a chance that you may or may not qualify. So I have some things that happened with a past relationship that will disqualify me from going to those shelters that will require a background. Like I said, I have a voucher. I have a Section 8 voucher. And as for right now, it's just been a process with trying to get that piece of paper to go and find a new place to stay. I really seriously, I was just talking about this yesterday. I just truly feel like that their process when it comes down to housing participants is not right, and it needs to be adjusted at some point. Yeah, it needs to be adjusted at some point. I personally, this is how I look at it. So here's the breakdown. So what happens is when you're on Section 8, when you're on government housing, you have a lease, there's a lease, and there's a contract. The lease is, and I hope this can reach somebody. There's a lease and there's a contract. So what happens with the lease? The lease is between the landlord and a tenant. And that's just in terms of the unit, you know, wear and tear, just right. And then you have the contract, which basically entails what it is that landlords can and can't do while participating on the program. And the short synopsis is how much they're going to pay on behalf of the tenant. This is just the long and short version. Okay, so where's the dilemma? The dilemma for me is I truly feel as if there shouldn't be a lease. I don't think it should be a lease between participants and the landlord, because there's a federal contract, and federal contracts normally trump state laws. So if they already have a contract in place with the landlord and the housing authority, I personally feel like a lease should not be in place. Like a landlord should not be in a position to be able to enforce a lease if there's a contract in place. And a lot of these local judges, they don't know anything about these contracts. They don't know anything about housing, to the point where this is kind of where it lands me. Here it is. I had the maintenance man come into my house unauthorized. I did not put in a maintenance request. I did not ask anyone to be there in my unit. You know, regardless of that, when I got up and went to the door, I opened up the door. I closed the door. He pushed the door back in on me. So this whole situation with this apartment and what occurred, oh, it's not over. I'm trying to get at least a little bit stabilized first and some other things in order before I really can attack this overall situation. But he pushed the door in on me. Like, there's a whole report number. Detective sitting around here not even investigating. So now what happens with that? They have a problem with me, long and short. And then they go ahead and they retaliate by saying, okay, hey, we're going to take her to eviction court for non-payment. I mean, for possession only. And when I say non-payment, in terms of I didn't have a rent portion. Like, my rent was paid in full, like totally, all the way up until the date that they put me out. If there was a contract in place and y'all collected money, it should not have been any type of position at all whatsoever for them to be able to put me out. So I just personally feel like hiccups and things of that nature, and the laws and things of that nature, should be changed. I just don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair. And when I could be able to get a chance to sit down and figure this all out, that is really something that I would like to fight for. And it will get fought, because at the end of the day, they were still in violation of the contract. You know, laws are not. If you're going through an eviction with a tenant as a landlord, you are supposed to notify the housing authority. They are in all kind of violations of that contract. So that's one thing with that, you know, the short synopsis of that. But on the flip side, I'm sitting here and waiting for a voucher to be able to go find a place And that's always a process when it comes down to housing. You can be evicted from an apartment and still have a voucher. You can move from your apartment because your lease is up and still have a voucher. Once that lease is up, then it's on you to figure out, all right, where are you going to stay temporarily until um, until you get new moving papers. It's like what they call it. Some landlords can go month to month. Some landlords may not want to go month to month. You know what I mean? So either here nor there, regardless of whatever happens with that lease, if it comes to the point where you have to move from that unit, you gotta move. And then it's like starting all over again with waiting for a voucher, finding a new place. Once you find a new place, then you go through the whole process again as if like you're a new participant. So, oh goodness, I potentially have something that I'm waiting for. The whole wait process is just a process when it all comes down to it. You know. So people talk about getting jobs and being able to do a lot of other things, but as for right now, it's like if you're not stable, then it's hard to find a job and things of that nature. Because you're just trying to survive. Okay, so no, I have to wait for the voucher. I have to wait for the voucher and then go find a place. Yeah, that's how it works. You get the voucher in hand, and then from there you go find a place. So, pretty much, in other words, that's just like those are like your moving papers. You go find a place, you find a landlord, you say, "Hey, do you take Section 8? Are you willing to take this voucher? Excuse me. This is how much they're gonna pay, roughly in this area or whatever for this voucher." And then you try to find something within the guidelines, within the budget of wherever it's placed. So for an example, okay, so if I find an apartment over here on 1234 Jane Street, somebody has renting out a 1 bedroom apartment for $1,200. That voucher for that zip code can sometimes either be less than or it could be more than the asking rent amount. And pretty much, in other words, what they go off of is the comps in the neighborhood to figure out what the fair market value of the rent should be. And then that's kind of how they average what the cost should be in terms of how much they will pay, how much they're paying, how much the homeowners are paying in taxes, you know, what are the other things that's in the neighborhood. Schools, buses, walk score, grocery stores, laundromats, uh, shoot, anything that's available in the neighborhood for the participant to be self-sufficient, so to speak. Where they're not in low poverty neighborhoods, then if you're in a low poverty neighborhood, then of course the amount for the rent goes down. So now you got that voucher, which is just basically, in other words, the okay to say, here, go find a place. The landlord will fill everything out. And it's a process. Once you find a place, it takes usually about 30 to 45 days to um, before you're leased up. As far as like the contract is signed, the lease is signed, the security deposit is put down. They have to come out. They have to inspect the unit. They have to make sure that the unit is up to code, is functional, lights, gas, running water, flushing toilet, things of that nature. So it's just a process. Okay. And since my Let's see. How long do you need to wait to get the voucher? What is the delay? Okay, so here's the delay. Short synopsis without saying too much. Short synopsis is my house, I'm sorry, my landlord never did, and this is why I'm saying, like, I'm not going to say too much because I seriously got to take these people to court when it's all said and done. So I went back and forth. I went back and forth with the housing authority throughout the whole entire eviction process, talking to head supervisors, informing head supervisors like, hey, this is what I'm going through. This is not fair. This is not right. Nobody really heard me. Nobody really was listening, so to speak, to what was going on with my overall case. It had even gotten to the point where they had got the legal department involved, because when you're going through an eviction, it's a reason why you're being evicted from the place. And usually for the most part, it's because, you didn't pay your rent, you're in violation to something, and that's something that housing just don't play with. They don't play with being in violation of the terms of the program. So anytime that you're in violation, and what can put you in violation? If you collect like new charges or criminal history, what else can put you? Constant issues that you're having, like at your unit. Your landlord, they can write you up. I'm sorry, I'm lost for words right now. They can, I can't find a word right now. Lease violations. The normal. I can't notices. Okay, so they kind of like, how can I put it? Like an habitual problem, kind of like Martavia is over here constantly having loud parties. Martavia is over here selling drugs out the house. Something to that nature. They usually write it up and they'll send it to housing to let them know, hey, this participant is in violation for whatever reason. Housing normally come back and they'll say, okay, this is, you're in violation for this reason, whatever this reason is. And then it may be a possibility that you might be grounds for termination for the program based upon these violations. So in my case, in my situation, I went to court for possession only. Possession only, regardless of the situation of why I was going to court and why I was being evicted. They have to notify housing to say, hey, we're sending her to court. We're taking her to court for possession only. Their claim is they didn't want to renew the lease, but we already know why they didn't want to renew the lease. Because everything that happened with the maintenance guy, the retaliation overall situation. Outside of them not wanting to renew the lease, they had already had a contract. Like, there's a contract already on my unit that was signed August of 2020. I think I explained this in one video. I don't know what video it was. August 1st, 2025 is the date of the new contract. That new contract extends to August 1st, 2026. When the contract is being extended, when you're inside the unit, they don't need an approval from the landlord. It's an extension. They just write it up, send it out, extend the contract. Now the payments will continue all the way up until August 2026 for the whole duration of the year. That was August 1st. They sent me to court August 13th, 2026 is when they said Um, who is this? I don't know who this is. You have to give me a second to answer the question. I lost train of thought. It's just too early or too late. Okay, so the contract was for the whole entire duration of the year. They never did notify housing to say, hey, we're sending her to court. Okay. I'm trying to. It's just so it's a lot, but it's just so dirty. Okay. This is what I'm dealing with. It's just dirty on how they did, how everything transpired. So I'm going to go back and I want to say this again so it can make sense. When you're going through an eviction, the landlord is supposed to notify the housing authority to say, hey, we're taking her to court. My landlord never did notify housing to say we're taking her to court, that she's in violation of the lease. I was never in violation of anything. I've never had any problems at all whatsoever at my unit for them to notify housing to say she's in violation. That new contract that was extended between housing and the landlord was from August 1st, 2025 to August 1st, 2026. So once I got the eviction papers and I'm going through the whole process, I instantly notified housing, notified the caseworker, explained to every top supervisor it was down there what was going on. Here's all my court documents. What they told me is that they're getting the legal team involved so the legal team can be able to investigate. Because now what they're trying to figure out is if I'm a $0 participant and if I don't have a rent portion, why am I being evicted? I've never had any issues on paper with this particular unit, with this landlord. So why am I being taken to court? And especially being taken to court for possession only. At this point in time, nothing is making sense. Okay? Now what they told me is that what happens is anytime that a participant go to court for eviction, they try to put them up for grounds for termination. Because 9.5 times out of 10, if they went to eviction court, then it's a good chance that they violated the terms of the program. I never did violate any terms of the program. Never did have any lease violations. So why am I going to court? All of this is retaliation. Now, it was also a notice that was sent out when the unit had went into abatement for non-payment because I had been having electrical issues at the unit. And in that abatement letter, they had simply said, hey, during this abatement process from this date to that date, you could not take the tenant to court for retaliation. They sent me to court for retaliation. So here it is. You got Dallas fire coming out because I had electrical fire at the unit. You got the maintenance guy that pushed himself in on me. You got small electrical fires and things of that nature that was going on inside of the unit where I had to go down to housing and they needed to make repairs. At this point in time, I'm a problem to them. So why continue to lease? Let me just go ahead and, terminate it. But they were not at grounds for termination because you still had this whole contract in place from August 1st, 2025 to August 2026. So throughout the whole entire year, last year, August, September, October, because this went on, like this whole eviction process went on from August all the way up into January. Like and fault throughout the situation to get, to prevent from getting to this point. Um, so they told me that they were going to investigate why I was going to court for non-payment. I keep saying non-payment, possession only. For possession only. Never did get back to me. They never did notify me. Now, by this time, we in probably maybe like December, January. I reached out to them and I said, okay, hey, the writ of execution has been executed and they have put me out the unit. Like, I had to go. Their job is to make sure that the rent is paid. They make sure that the rent has been paid. The rent has been paid and the rent is still paid. Okay, hear me clear when I say this. The rent is still paid. So here's the other catch-22 that makes them look bad. Normally when a tenant goes to court for eviction and that tenant is removed from that unit, the landlord is supposed to notify housing to say, hey, Jane Doe don't live here no more. They never did notify housing to say, hold on a second. They never did notify housing to say, I don't live there no more. On the flip side, do you know that housing has been paying them all this time for me being there? I'm talking about the new contract they have sent out August, September, October, November, December rent, the whole entire eviction process. January, when they came in that door to put me out, the rent was paid. February, not living there, the rent was paid. March, not living there, the rent was paid. April, just got here, the rent was paid. They have paid the rent for the whole duration of the time that I've been going through this eviction process. So what's the delay? The delay is trying to reach out to the legal department and figure out, am I like grounds for termination? Because I went to eviction court. And it's just like, how could this be even possible when y'all got every piece of document of everything that occurred? So they have all that's needed. They have everything it is that they need right now to process another voucher. I'm just waiting for my caseworker to be able to get back to me to let me know, like, all right, what's the next steps in the process? Because what it looks like to them in their mind, this is what it looks like. Okay, we've been paying rent for you to stay at this unit since August of 2024. We've been paying rent the whole year of 2026. We just cut a check April 1st, 2026. And here it is. They cut the check before August. I'm sorry, they cut the check before the month. So the check usually go out around like the 26th, 27th. So they looking like shit. Hell, we just sent the check out for April. Why are you coming in here for moving papers? Like, what is going on? So it's like it's a big deal in terms of the contract being violated. I mean, contract. And they're just trying to get to the bottom of it. So if it was normal circumstances where I wasn't evicted, they didn't evict me, then yeah, I would just walk in there. I would get a voucher. They'll give me a voucher and they'll send me on my way. But now at this point in time, they trying to figure out, like, okay, what is going on? Did I do something wrong? Apparently, I didn't do anything wrong, because otherwise, if I was grounds for termination, they would have sent me a letter, and they most definitely would have stopped the payments. Up until this point, they would have stopped the payments. So, um, that's just what it is right now. I need to scroll up. So it seems they should not have been allowed to evict was paid. Exactly. Exactly. They should not have been allowed to evict me because the rent was paid. So this is why I don't talk about it too much. You know what I mean? Because if I haven't sued nobody else, I have to go find an attorney behind this one. Like, this is a whole lot of discrimination, and this is pain and suffering, um, when it boils down to it. So it's just a lot that I say it, I talk about it, but I just don't talk about it too much. But that's just the long and short of what happened. So their thing is, oh, well, what I'm trying to figure out how it was worded in court. It was worded of, I can't find the exact word, but it was like, the lease end. You know, I forgot. I can't think right now. It's too early. But basically, in other words, saying that I don't have a lease. I can't find the correct term, but that's why I went to court, because I didn't have a lease. That's not a reason to take nobody to court, right? And I don't know how it is anywhere else, but how it works around here is, and for the most part, it's probably this way across the board. You got different type of agreements. You can have a verbal agreement. You can have a written agreement. You can have a handshake agreement. There's different type of agreements that you can have when it comes down to, you know, it's different type of agreements that you can have, if that makes sense. Like, everything don't consist of having a lease or having a contract and things of that nature. You can put something on a piece of paper, and this is like a form of agreement, if that makes sense. Um, their fight was, hey, she don't have a lease. I don't understand why the judge would let all of this ride. And the case right now, my eviction case right now, is in the Supreme Court. Like, so it left from the JP level to the civil level to the Supreme level. And usually when it reached the Supreme level, it's nothing for me to do. They just they look over the case themselves, and then they come up with a decision of how, if they feel it was right or wrong, or whatever the case may be. This is why I really seriously need an attorney. I've been needing an attorney, but I really need one at this point in time. So even though for them the lease ended July 31st, 2021, when they signed that new contract with housing, when that contract extended August 1st, 2025. Normally what happens is the landlord will reach out and say, all right, y'all didn't have extended the contract. Here's the new lease to sign. Sometimes some landlords don't even require you to sign a new lease. Some of them will go month to month. Some of them don't care. Just as long they accepted money August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, and April. There should not have never been a fight for them to, it should have never been the judge siding with the landlord. Why? Because even though that lease end, they open up a new form of agreement when they accepted money. Like they accepted money on my behalf from the housing authority for all of those months for me to be there. All right. So everything goes on a month to month basis. So now the lease in. All right. And then you can go month to month. And then normally what happens in a month to month situation, that's like 30 days, month to month, you know. Month to month can be anything with anything. But in this situation, it's like, all right, once the 30 days is over, you know, month to month, if you don't pay again the next month, or our month to month contract may only be a month, it may only be 2 months, it may only be 3 months. Every time that day, that 30th day end, and they accepted new money for the next month, that's like, all right, month to month, a whole new contract started, if that makes sense. So they should have never been able to evict me based upon a lease that expired July 31st, when there was a new contract, number one, and you accepted payment each month for me to be there. So that's just where we at with it. So what it looks like right now on paper, short synopsis, this is what it looks like on paper. To housing, it looks like we think you still in that apartment. You supposed to still be in that apartment. We never did get any type of notice from the landlord that you were moved. We never did get no type of notice from the landlord indicating that you were in violation, indicating that you were going to court, being evicted, to that nature. We sent out money for you to still be there within the unit. It's as if like they know, but they don't know that I'm out here on the streets homeless. So why are you coming in here looking for a new voucher when you supposed to be inside this unit? You're supposed to be inside this unit. Lord Jesus, fix it. So the thing is, it's so much. Yep. Thank you so much, C. Sanders. So yeah, so that's the short synopsis of it. It's only so much that the caseworker can do. So what she's trying to do is trying to work through it and explain the overall situation, because she knows and everything has been like submitted or whatever. She's trying to explain to whoever she explains to the short synopsis of what's going on, what happened, what has transpired. So I don't have to have a hearing, pretty much in other words. So if I have to have a hearing about this overall situation, then that could easily take, I can request a hearing, and it may take like 30 days to be able to get a hearing, you know, because housing do have a legal department. So it's not, all of this is not over with by far. It is nowhere near over. So when I call it an unlawful eviction, this is what I mean by an unlawful eviction. I don't care how much it will cost. If I have to come out of pocket, I will find an attorney for this situation. So when you out here, you're doing everything it is that you're supposed to do, and then people come back and they retaliate against you, that's a problem. So I'm just over it right now. So hopefully they can get back to me today I did talk to them, because like I said, I don't talk about it. So they supposed to get back with me today to tell me something. I put the request in last week, gave them everything additional that they needed to have, um, to just tell me something. Say, here's your voucher, or if I gotta go to a hearing. I put it to you like this. Right now, thank you. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to move all of my content and just get rid of some of the negativity, and just like let stuff go. So I'm leaving TikTok. Excuse me. At some point, I will be back, but I'm taking like my content and I'm transferring my content over here to YouTube while still trying to combine like what's going on for the now here on my page. So I really want to just do like YouTube and Facebook, and eventually I'll start another TikTok page. As far as the direction that, that I want to go here on my page, it's just really just my overall journey. Oh, excuse me. Just my overall journey. That's just really just the route that I'm going. But I'm saying all that to say this. I don't want to have to expose these people. Like, even more than I have is what I'm saying. Like, if I have to go, if I have to go to a termination hearing to explain this overall situation after I've explained it multiple times to the housing authority, it's just not going to be good. I'm really going to have to try to find an attorney. They can kind of just see all of this through. But no, there's no way to direct message on YouTube. I was trying to figure that out. But I don't know. I don't think so. Nope. And then TikTok got my direct messaging blocked. Oh, too many trolls. Yeah. I really wish they did have a feature. I was looking for a feature, but I don't think they have it. Yeah, I don't think they have it. I don't think they have it at all. I'm just now trying to learn all the different features of YouTube. So I'm trying to find my phone. I don't know what I did with it. I lost the phone. Hold on a second. So I'm trying to Google it. That's for sure. Stand by. Yeah. So I'm trying to Google it and see, but I don't think so. All these platforms have their way of doing things. They said it's going through a test phase. As for right now, they said it's going through a testing phase. But I don't think it's like set. But I think it's in the works. I don't know. I have to look into it. Okay, no worries. All right, yep, I'm here. Yep, I'm here. So, yeah, that's just it, y'all. I'm just, I'm just tired. I'm just, and everybody's looking at, when people really don't even know the whole story. You say, am I in walking distance? No, no, I'm not in walking distance. Why you say that? I mean, I'm not in walking distance, but yeah, why is that? I think everybody wants to know why. I think we're all waiting. I think everybody's waiting to know why. Connect. All right. All right. It's back. Okay. Well, just like you know me from the other page and stuff like that. It's just I know when people are genuine, you know what I'm saying? It still is the internet. So you just don't never know who you're talking to. So you have to be kind of just mindful and still a little leery about the things that you say, and the help and stuff like that um that you possibly may receive from people, because once again it's just like, I'm out here on the streets, like on foot, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know if it could have been a setup or something to that nature. um um yeah, I know. I'm not speaking in terms of you. I'm speaking in general. I'm speaking in general. Even though I'm going to go back and I'm going to air this live. Like, I'm going to put it on my page, like, for the people to view. But no, what I'm saying is, I had a lot of trolls over there on KRACK WING Chronicles, and it was just really sad. You know what I'm saying? When it was all said and done, where I just couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't. I just couldn't do nothing. Like, I seriously couldn't be like 100% as transparent, with the people over there as I would have liked to be, far as like posting in real time. Some videos and things of that nature I would have to save to the next day, or I would have to save till I leave the location, an hour or two or whatever, just to just to make sure that I'm safe. Towards you, I do appreciate it. It's just a lot that has just have happened to me in the past with these trolls. Like, I got a whole Reddit page. Um, no. It's fine. Like, I tell people, like, all the time, like, I want people to come over to my page, and I want people to feel comfortable, and I want everybody to chat. Like, yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. Um, Now, between those two places, it was just like, okay, I know Rockstar is a little bit more on the expensive side. So that's probably maybe not a good place for like a daily meal. Probably the same thing with like a Torchy's. I can't, as for right now, I can't think of anything else um, besides maybe purchasing a gift card for a food restaurant or something like that. If that's something that you want to do, you can always purchase a gift card to a food restaurant. And you can probably be able to send it via email, and I can, utilize it to get some food or something like that. I just don't know what restaurant options, or if that would be an option. It was just a thought, as far as just like a food gift card or something, as far as food wise. Kind of like a digital gift card. That's what I'm thinking about. Digital gift card. My mind is so short this morning. When I say I'm over it. I'm just over it at this point. This will probably be the one day that I can say that I am over it. Yeah. So yeah, between those two restaurants, they'll probably do like gift cards that you can probably purchase. hmm If something like that is the nature, I can always give you my email address. hmm Yeah, and you know what? it's just sad. It's really sad because I've been over there. I've read everything. Um, yeah, I'm here online. So you got like various options when it comes down to e-gift cards. Far as with food, you can always purchase an e-gift card if that's something that you choose to do. Or maybe even DoorDash credits or something to that nature. That will be helpful if that's something that you want to do. But yeah, but no, far as the trolls, it's just like who have that much time on their hands? Like people have a whole lot of time on their hands, to sit and analyze someone's life and to be able to go back. Hold on. Whew, there's too much going on out here. I'm tired of having to watch my back. I'm tired of having to watch my back. Like, this is why I don't never get no rest. They out here walking dogs. Um, it just be too much going on. I don't never get a chance to get no peace. I don't ever chance to get a chance to get no rest or anything. But yeah, so it's just like who have that much time? Seriously, like who have that much time to sit and analyze somebody's life and then to go back and report to all of these pages and things to that nature. Um, okay, so I have to figure that out. I have to figure that out. If I was to do it, it probably, let me see something. Let me go to my other page. Give me a second, y'all. My mind is all over the place.